Hello everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Ravi Gupta. I am founder and editor-in-chief of a magazine called Digital Learning. And we are spreading ideas on innovations in the classroom. And today we have with us a innovative company which is going to talk about its innovations in its classroom products. And we have with us our speaker today, she Sahiba Pahwa. She is country head India for a company called Classtime. And let me give a brief intro about Sahiba. That Sahiba is an ex Teach for India teacher and ex-education blogger and country head of Classtime, which is a global firm currently serving in 5 countries, who envisions Indian school education revolutionizing the next 2 years, bridging the digital gap with technology, a powerful tool for teachers to guide students. Today, Classtime as a company is reaching to around 2 million students with 75,000 plus teachers, a huge number, considering that uh, it is growing fast and it is also spread across 5 countries. And its tools and technologies are growing popular every day. So we are connecting with Sahiba today to understand what is the USP of Classtime, why it is becoming so much popular, how it differentiates itself among other peers in this ecosystem. So, welcome, Sahiba. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Ravi. Thanks for the great introduction that you've shared with me about me. And welcome to everyone who's out there on Facebook, on our conference. Thanks for joining in on a Saturday. This really shows how much the education community is committed these days. And I really believe that this crisis has really brought us together. Don't you think, Ravi, that we've all come together, we now discuss more, we find more solutions out there?
Yes, actually, in these times of the pandemic, the whole education community is actually working overtime. They are working harder, and they are adopting technology in such a with such a speed which is never seen in the history of school education ever.
Yes.
What do you think?
I completely agree. I think that we all have come together and we all are now driving for more solutions out there. And so let me try to introduce a little bit more about what Classtime can do for you, specifically for this webinar. And what kinds of techniques you can experiment with classrooms, with metacognition. How can you take online assessments and provide like really real-time personalized feedback for the learning progress of every student. And the great part is that we can also share data with parents now. The technology has reached to such levels that you can share personalized feedback to each and every parent. And let's be honest, during this time, we genuinely need a wholesome product that could share such features and share such amazing insights that everyone could view. And I think this is an opportunity for us to show more than what we already used to. I think what we're doing right now is we're going to explore new things, we're going to explore new solutions, and we're going to explore it in such a manner that we're going to be better than what we were earlier. This is what I feel. So to just add a little bit more, we're going to share at the end. Please stay till the end, as we're going to share a special discount for you guys. And whoever is interested, let me know. And you can also access the link that is shared. Ankur, could you please switch on the demo and we could start off with the webinar? Yeah. So for today, the agenda that we're going to follow is we're going to cover 3 main topics. And that is one, how can you, truly extract value from, third party, technology partners, and share information with parents and involve students more actively. The other thing that we're going to cover today are practical applications of remote learning, like flipped classrooms. And lastly, what we're going to cover is how can you genuinely add fun elements and engage students. Really try gamified assessments and do all of the necessary pieces. So let me move further and discuss what is the major issue or the problem that has come up. The major issue that we see right now is basically distance learning just came as a surprise, right? And it's here to stay. We did a recent survey of teachers and who already report that students are becoming increasingly disengaged, and that is visibly impacting their learning progress, right? So the requirement and challenge for flexibility is huge, and we require a tremendous rethinking of every student's experience, with the educators, the principals, the school leaders. They really need to understand that we have to rethink the student experience at this point of time. And why do I say at this point of time? Is because the reason is that we have to have those uninterrupted sessions. We have to ensure that they actually understood and that could only be possible once we let them take a more active role. So now let's move on to why would we say that we should do it right now. And let's be honest that the schools have mostly been underprepared. We were not prepared for this kind of a crisis at this point of time, and we have done a great job in terms of finding some makeshift solutions. We have done an excellent job in terms of video conferencing classes and adopting to it. But the reality is that it's here to stay. We can very well, there are talks going on a lockdown 5, and there are talks going on that there's going to be a second wave in July. So what we need is, and I truly believe that schools that would sustainably try to engage their students and convince their parents of their value will prevail. And the schools that will struggle to survive are those which would not be able to meet the unprecedented need of the sustainable digitalization. And what we need is a wholesome product that would genuinely provide this kind of solution wherein you can do it online, you can also do it in class, and it provides you with valuable insights and data right then and there. So Ankur, could you move further? The next slide, please. Yeah, so that's where Classtime comes in. What do we believe in? We believe that we can, this is a tremendous opportunity for us to grow from this short-term pain. It is a tremendous opportunity for us to rethink our delivery of instruction and to leverage digital technology in a way that it is student self-serve, right? But primarily empowers teachers to make better, informed, and faster differentiated decisions. And that would come from data, from personalized insights, from every little detail of sessions. What we're asking you is not that you will be able to see how many people attended your session. You will be able to see every little intricate data of answers and questions that your student can have, right? And that's the kind of hybrid solution that will bring an edge to your institution. And the new reality is maybe this is not a threat. This is a tremendous opportunity for us to grow. And the future of education in India needs to accommodate with this hybrid setup. And if you really believe this is how the school education should look like in the future, please stay till the end, and I will, share a special offer. And also, you can add a comment for all those Facebook users to please write a yes if you're interested, and we can reach out to you. Now, we basically, what we did was we did a survey. Ankur, could you move forward? Yes. Can you move forward as well? So we basically did a survey of people before even moving forward and discussing and creating an entire solution. What we thought were, we actually went out to teachers and tried understanding what are the top distance learning issues that they have. And it's shocking that 90% of the people say that students get disengaged and they lose interest. And the other thing that they mentioned very highly is that 83% mentioned Wi-Fi and device issues. So if this is the kind of issues that we're facing right now, and let's be honest, in India there are a lot of areas with suboptimal internet, and then what you really need is, you need to redefine the remote learning aspect. And how do we do that is by engaging students and ensuring their real-time progress. We create those kind of situations wherein there is student-parent visibility in a manner that you can actually go over, have a look at the insights, at data, and take real-time informed decisions. Then we're also looking, the most foremost and most important is the UX. I mean, you have to have a simple UX with one or two click of logins max, and remove the hassle of completely getting long servers, high bandwidth mobile applications, because that's just going to kill your efficiency. And that's what we believe in, and that's the kind of product Classtime is bringing in. And that's the reason why we've worked so nicely with a lot of our customers and teachers who really like our UX. And the fact that we could also bring games into a lesson and assessment, which could actually, in the end, the students don't even realize the difference between an assignment that they're doing and a game that they're playing. That's the kind of engagement that we really need right now. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to show you how it works, how you can give a flipped classroom, how you can work through metacognition techniques with Classtime. So with that, I just share my screen. Yes. So what we're going to do here is, basically, this is our UI, and I'm going to show you how you can take, in 3 simple steps, a flipped classroom. And that is just exactly what it is. Just 3 simple steps wherein you can search through the library for whatever you want. Let's say I want to learn about rational numbers. And then once you do that, with a simple click, you can add the question sets into your library. And then you can start a video plus assessment lesson at the same time in one go. And how do I do that is, basically, I would just click on the session and I would hit on start session. Now what this does is, basically, what flipped classroom, and really why Classtime is really good at it, is because, one, the least amount of efforts. The other is that the video lessons bandwidth can be adjusted. So what you see, this is the kind of technology that we're looking at, wherein you first flip your class. And when I say flip your class, you're basically trying to first share a video with them and then ask questions related to it, ask doubts related to it, and you genuinely ask and try to genuinely understand, did the student even understand your video lesson? Did he really get in touch with the kind of lesson he wants to learn? And that's how simple it is. You can just do one simple login click here and share it with your students, and then they can join in and learn through this class. And the teacher is able to view on a real-time basis as soon as a student joins in. So once the student joins in, he can go over actually going through the video lesson and answering each and every question along with it. And that's how you do it. Right? That's how the student genuinely grasp details, and you can at the same time figure out who's doing what. in your live session. And the kind of flexibility that, you know, we provide, or in fact any technological solution, if it can provide you flexibility with playing with the questions, with deactivating them at the same time, with answering them, and trying to validate it on a real-time basis, trying to see what is going on, and even launch games around it, you know, that's the kind of classroom that really help you, especially if you are in an area where the bandwidth is low, your internet might be flaky. And you know, the flipped classroom definition works in the manner that you give the content to your students first. You try to let them take a more self-centered, a more self-study kind of a role. And the other great part about it is, you know, how then we can also ask, like, how we can gain metacognition to it, how we can add. So the idea of metacognition is basically, I take it at least in two ways, right? It is in education language, it's about self mastery. When you genuinely try to question your questions, like you genuinely try to understand the thought processes behind learning. And this is something that cannot be taught in a day. It's more like a behavior. It's more like a, you know, you have to build in that cognitive behavior. And if you could add few simple questions in your session, or if you could, you know, join a few simple questions like these, wherein you're genuinely asking them about what they genuinely understand of these questions, right? What they do, they ask themselves after the session or after the assignment as to, did I have all the skills and knowledge to do this assignment? Or how did my mindset affect my approach? Now, these are the kind of questions we generally don't ask in a session. But now with technology, you can ask these questions in a simple click, and you can share with them, and your students will have the data. Your students will have everything they need. They have the place wherein they could see where they went wrong. They could see where they went right, what topics they understood, what topics they could not understand. And that's how we want them to be really complex thinkers, right? Where they question such things. And this can be with a simple session, right? Even if you don't want to do a session, we also have something called a session reflection, wherein we ask for 3 simple feedbacks. And the feedback questions are like, did you learn something new? Or would you like to practice this topic again? Or how do you feel about your learning progress? So these are the kind of questions we always ask the student, to create more complex thinkers. And that could only be possible once we create the habit. And with tools like these, solutions that give you data in an instance on a real-time basis, with, you know, different kinds of question sets, that's where, you know, we really can move ahead. And the great part about this thing is that you don't have to really grade people. The auto grading is done itself, and teachers can concentrate more on, you know, various different kinds of techniques, various different kinds of behaviors, various different kinds of, you know, personalized feedback that we can share. And that's the kind of future that we're looking towards. That's the kind of future that we should all aim towards. And although you can add, the idea, you can add 3D gamification, that you can engage people, that you can launch a collaborative challenge. Now, a collaborative challenge is basically a game type assessment, wherein you can simply go over and then ask your students to join in together and answer. And that's how you create, you know, social emotional learning. They have to answer together to gain a specific goal, a specific outcome. And that really creates a lot of changes in the behavior of your students in the classroom and outside class. And that's how we aim as Classtime to make a difference. Now, what I would like to do is, I would like to ask Ankur, to go over the slide a little bit so I could share a little bit more insights about what you can do. Ankur? Yeah. So what we did was we simply after this, we had a great. Ankur, could you move forward? Yes. So we what we did was we sent out a survey, and we did some mathematics and statistics, and we found out that more than 90% of the people gave us a top score of extremely likely to recommend after the first real class. And most of our teachers are very happy with the product. And our usage has globally increased by 10x. And more than 70% of teachers who have used Classtime in the first month have adopted it into their tools and techniques. So the fact that EPFL is one of the basic research institute in Switzerland, they also recommend us and mention that they are best in class. And the reason why they do that is because we have great different 9 types of question sets, wherein you can't just do a simple, true or false. You can access, you can access sorting, you can access highlighting. And when I say highlighting, because there are a lot of English grammar teachers who require the same. And you can also at the same time do other kinds of categorization and different techniques. In fact, even our free text, or what you call as an answer type question, is built in such a manner that it bundles everything for you to validate in one go for all teachers. So that's, I think that's where we're leading, and that's the kind of solution we're building. So if anyone is interested, I would say please click on the link and act now. So
sure.
Ravi,
Sahiba?
can I? Yes.
Yes. Okay. Maybe I request Ankur to stop the screen share so that we can move ahead and discuss. Great. So, Sahiba, there are say very interesting and exciting product which we all have seen just now, and there are several questions from the audience. We can see that around 180 people are like watching this live us on Zoom, and if you can, Sahiba, open the Q&A button and also look at the chat button. So there are questions like we can start taking that. There's a question around how do we uh, uh, test English literature. So, like, is your software compatible with stuff like this?
Yeah, so as I was mentioning, right, we have a separate question type called pretext. And what we do there is we use AI technique to bundle all of them together. And let's say if 10 students of yours have answered, and I'm just giving you a simple example, like, you have what's the size of this triangle, and or what is the shape called, and people write cones. So what it does is try to figure out cone, conical, and all of those words, and bundle them together with you. So it's like a simple validate per answer for the teacher at the end. And that's how we solve these kind of problems.
There is another question here that will virtual learning alone be enough without a classroom widget, or should we create many options in learning like homeschool or regular school, and will it still hold some emphasis like say private and regular? So your like I think it's the question is more conceptual, that online learning is enough or not.
I think, so I honestly, if you take my opinion, I personally believe that we have to have that human touch as well. And in order to have that human touch, you have to have a hybrid solution. And when I say hybrid solution, it should work in an online setup, which is your virtual setup, and it should work in class. If you, because let's be honest, I know this sounds like a long-term plan wherein it will take maybe 1 year, but then we would have to still figure out ways to go back into classroom. So, and that's the reason why, Classtime works so well in both an in-classroom setup and an online setup.
So there is a question in the chat. Someone has asked that are the contents aligned with the CBSE syllabus?
So
if you
what
look at the
so we have a library that is, we have a Khan Academy library, we have teachers, and they produce their own question sets again and again in a free public library. So you can feel free to add content there and create more content. And there are specific international business and CBSE content, but we're building more. We're adding more teachers, and it's still in the process of getting into the really highly specialized content. But what we also provide is that if, let's say, you have your own content, we can make systemized question sets for you, specifically designed for your school and institution. And I think that's the kind of answers and people are looking for in the industry.
Sure. There is another question, which is that is there a facility for live video classes to share with students in class time?
So live video classes, we generally ask and don't align with it, but that's something that we're already in exploration stage, and we might introduce it in the future.
Sure. And there is a very specific question that I don't know you will be comfortable answering it or not, but someone is asking how it is better than Baju or Next Education.
I mean, Byju's is basically like a content, content-specific product. It does not provide you with the applications, with the kind of social emotional learning tools that you're looking here for. It does not provide you with something like an assessment tool or an auto grading tool, which actually reduces the teacher, the teacher efforts in terms of reduced grading, and all of those paperwork is reduced, and I think it saves a lot of time for teachers to focus on other parts and other pieces, and really provide valuable insights and data at the same time to parents, to teachers, and I don't think Byju provides that.
Sure. I think there is a difference in objectives of both the products. That's simple.
Yes.
Yeah, and there is a question by Dr. Stangen Dawa, and the question is that are you offering 21st century skills?
When
in the look at the chat button.
Yeah.
So there's a question that are you offering 21st century skills?
I think what we're offering is something that has been explained in various countries outside, and they've been adopting this. In fact, even a lot of teachers here also are adopting this, and these are the 21st century skills that we need. In fact, I even read a report, and feel free to go ahead and go through the lectures by Barbara Streisand, and she talks about techniques like spaced repetition. What is the impact of sharing repetitive assessments again and again, or sharing mini assessments again and again, and it really improves your memory and your retainment power by 40%.
There is a question in the Q&A box, and someone has asked that can your software be categorized as an LMS, learning management system?
Not completely. We have tried to create more like an assessment, evaluation, and a 21st century skills platform where we provide things like tools that actually create engagement, tools that create collaboration with social emotional learning, tools that actually help teachers in automating their tasks. So these are the kinds of, we are not, we are trying to build that kind of a solution that would genuinely impact and improve the kind of techniques we use.
Sure. There is another question that up to which class students can use this app?
Any you know, it can be used in, so it's universal. It can be used in classroom. It can be used from K-12. It can be used to you know, universities. In fact, we already have people in universities and colleges who are doing it. They're professors who've been using it for quite some time. And there is also, you know, the corporates of publishing companies that use our product for training purposes.
There is a question by Bushra Khatun Jadi, and she's asking that, can you please elaborate the tools? I think some people are still not clear about what are the tools available.
Yeah, so there are basically quite a lot of techniques that we're employing. The two major tools that I'm going to stress right here is one is the assessment solution that we have, which lets you take online assessments and flip classes instantly. And since you have already ready-made library, it's very easy to reach out to, very simple to send it forward to your students with just a simple click. And the other tool that we're focused on is collaborative challenges, wherein we send game type assessments to students so that they actually are answering questions, but they're collaboratively playing the game and then answering them. And that's how we engage them. That's how we ensure they actually learn the lessons. And the third and most important tool, I believe, is data. The kind of data you get for each and every session, for each and every lesson, and the kind of, you know, data and insights we provide for every student to go over where he fell short, where he was being able to hit the nail. And that's actually helps in understanding and giving a personalized aspect to the learning progress.
There is another interesting question, very simple but very important question. How is this app different from Google Classroom?
Google Classroom does not provide auto grading. It does not. It's question set formulation. Its forms are very. I mean, to me, it is a very long process. And Google Classroom does not provide you with 9 different types of question sets, from sorting to categorizing to creating, you know, free text. In fact, you can even add images to your options and create more, you know, visibly nice content for your students.
Again, a related question. Someone has asked, is it easy to understand like Teams or Google Classroom? So is it easy to use?
Easy to understand in terms of the understanding of the students?
I think it's like how to use it. So is the usability is.
I think the usability really matters a lot, and it is much more easier UX. You know, the easier the UX you have, the faster is the adoption. And yes, I think it is much more easy to you know, utilize a product that has the least amount of clicks.
Someone has been asking, like some people asking that, is this software useful for preschool education system, and do you also have any content on preschools?
We have preschool education. Yes, we can provide content, and we can. As I said, this is a universal platform which can be used to every school.
So, and one question which has been asked by multiple people multiple times: how can we track malpractice during assessment? Is your software provide something? And there is a related question around that: how do you do the assessments in this? And how do you do evaluation and how do you get the results?
So
So,
assessment is done in a very simple format wherein you can just add marks to each and every question, and the grading is then done accordingly. For long-term types answers, we bundle it, and then you can in one go validate them. The reason why we don't grade them automatically, because this we're talking about students, and students we can't grade them incorrectly. So that's why we do let for specifically for long-term answers the teacher to evaluate. And then the last question about the results, that's something our system does automatically. We auto grade everyone, and then we share the results on a real-time basis with the students, with the teachers. And
some, oh yeah, sure.
and if, let's say, that the teachers do not want to share results instantly, we also have a feature for that.
Some people have been asking that is this software compatible with the Indian languages, Hindi, Sanskrit, Urdu, and all that stuff. So Gujarati. So the other question.
We are, yes, we are adding Hindi language into our platform.
Excellent. Again, another question that you got, Sahiba, so many questions, right?
I
So
I think we've created enough, interesting insights into it. We've, gone a little step further to create impact around, class time. And what I would suggest all of you is to actually go ahead. If you're really interested, click on the button, and then we could also personally discuss how we can help you out, how we can help your schools, and provide you with the best experience.
sure. There is a question which I have received on my WhatsApp. So people are watching me and they have started like sending me questions here. So someone has asked me, how will teachers be trained to use this software?
Um, uh, do you mean the specifics of how one can be trained?
Yeah, means normally what happens is that whenever there is a new software, the teachers have a problem of using it because each software has a different concept, different interface, and all that stuff. So how easy it is for teachers to adopt it?
We have a complete tutorial, videos, and sessions. And in fact, what we have is what we call along the way learning, wherein you can have snippets everywhere, making you trying to understand what each and every feature does. So those are the ways we train. Also, what we do is we add professional trainers to train along with you. But generally, our teachers have, honestly, because of the simple UX, I've mentioned that they got trained in hardly 3 days time.
There is another question that how about assessment evaluation for maths? Is it doable? Or,
Yes, it is very much possible to evaluate and add. You can add equations, you can add chemistry and mathematical formulas, and we have that in place for you to do that.
again, very specific question that how is class time content different from next learning content? So people are trying to compare various softwares which are available out there.
I think so. We focus more on solutions rather than we focus more on the techniques used, and we ask the students to and we ask the teachers to actually bring forward differentiated content. And also what we have differently is that we provide you with a YouTube access so that you can access any amount of free content out there on YouTube, through various other sources. So that we provide that kind of flexibility for teachers to actually try out 4 other different types of contents.
Another question that how to conduct subject exam through your app and how to check the answer sheet and do the paper correction.
The paper correction is done on by itself, except for, as I said, the free flow type of long time, short time answer questions. And there what we do is we try to bundle all the answers shared by the students, and it's a simple 3-click evaluation wherein you have to click, is this a correct answer or not a correct answer? Or what you can do is you can enable something called partial grading, wherein you give them partial answers.
May I ask you to keep your computer a bit close? Your audio has reduced actually a bit.
Okay.
So,
can you hear me now?
Yes, better. So lots of questions. So let me take some of it. Just a second. You can also look at the questions and identify which are the most relevant ones. Just a second. Let me go up there because I missed the questions in the beginning.
So there is a question around can we change backend data relevant to my courses? The answer is yes, we can. You can change the content, and you can create your own content accordingly, and then you can create your own courses, specifically customized to your school.
So there are questions which are related, which is that how to teach programming and how to teach practicals through virtual teachings. So I want to address it.
We have a specific Khan Academy NEET type content out there, but if you want to teach specific programming languages, what you can do is you can create question sets within our solution, and then you can share it with your students and then check their answers later on how they performed. You can even add multiple choice questions. Okay, so if you want to do X type of coding, then what should be the code? So those are the kinds of things you can add in our platform.
There is another question by Mr. Firoz Iqbal. He's asking that descriptive answers can be used here or not, or like in this app, and if there are wrong answers, will it get corrected at your end?
Yes, so we give teacher complete visibility of trying to validate the answers, and they have complete control over it. So the answer is yes, you can.
There is a question that will this app increase the burden of the school teachers or decrease the burden of the school teachers?
I mean, definitely it will reduce the burden of school teachers. We are taking out an entire piece of grading and evaluation from you. You can create, let's assume one of the teachers created content set, right? And everyone can share the same. You do not have to repetitively create content, and you can share it you can share it with a simple link. Just click on a button and then you have everything you want. So definitely it's going to reduce massively. And you don't have to reach out even, you can just invite your teacher to create content together, and then you do a curriculum planning on the platform. And once you're done with that, none of the other teachers need to get involved. They can just create, click a simple button and then they're in a session.
There is a question that apart from the contents to students, does Classtime provide any support as a management software to manage all whereabouts of schools?
Yes, Yes, we do provide support in our, so we have something called school license, when we do provide all kinds of support.
There is a question by Neelam Chaudhary. She has asked that, do you have any provisions for demonstrating experiments in science?
You can upload videos, right? So as I mentioned, you can do something like a flipped classroom or a video lesson, wherein you share the video lesson, you share the experiment with the students, and then they can have a look at it.
Uh, I think everyone wants every thing in the single software,
It's
right?
single software. I think one thing what I've realized is everyone wants to have that single software to give everything to them. But what we also need to realize is that let's also aim for the best solution for doing X specialized tasks. Let's try to find the best, curriculum. Let's find, because as I said, distance learning is here to stay. Distance learning, it will be there. I know these are tough times for schools, and I understand. But we have to find, we have to look at this as an opportunity. In fact, I think that now I can also take this as an opportunity to have an entire online market to catch.
So, Saiba, I want to ask you that your software is being used in around 5 countries, and thousands of students are using it, thousands of teachers are using it. Do you have any experience to share where any school adopted it and they really uh, liked it, and then you got feedback from teachers, students, which made you happy, which was like people contacted you and they said that, wow, this is amazing. So like if you can talk some of those stories, it will be good.
There are actually a couple of them. So we recently started working with the Ministry of Education in Ukraine for their public schools because of the recent crisis. And they are loving our product. They're promoting it. In fact, one of the teacher went ahead and created an entire end-to-end demo session for each and every teacher out there, and posted on our platform, and mentioned the fact that she loved it. She loved the fact that they through the video and through the student live chat session, she could share PDFs with them. She could discuss right then and there about where exactly did the student go wrong. She could add games around it. She could involve students much more than earlier. And these are the kind of amazing responses when you get. You really like it and you believe in your product. And I think we really need to have these kind of stories in India as well. In fact, there was one other teacher who started as a teacher, and really liked our product, tried it a few times, and then what she did was she suggested it to her school, and but they did not have Wi-Fi access, right? And what they did was they all the teachers joined together, created a union, and put money together and actually made sure that there was an infrastructure involved. Um, and then these little incidents really build confidence in your product.
Correct. And your organization, your company operates in 5 countries. So, are the challenges of schools in different countries same, or are they different? Or are there any opportunity for learning from each other, Cyber?
Yes, actually, we recently did a global webinar wherein we discussed from people from different countries came in, and teachers from different countries gave their thoughts about it. And since I have been working closely with the US, Switzerland, Ukraine, and other European country teams, their challenges, although in a long bird's eye view, their challenges seem to be same. That is engagement. But there are certain, country-specific also issues that people are trying to deal with. Few countries, require good low bandwidth engagement because of remote learning. But there are few countries who love the fact that they could take, simple tools with assessments and flipped classrooms. And in fact, one of the um, customer genuinely came to us and asked, do you have a product that could provide me game and at the same time give me assessment? And we had that, and they really liked it. So I think every country has a different requirement. There was another incident wherein the European countries were looking for more like a place wherein they could collaboratively, create question sets, edit curriculum and content. So we have people who have different kind of feature requests and requirement in terms of countries, but together they're all looking for more engagement, for easy ways of adapting to solutions and finding things that actually could solve teacher problems.
So another question which I think many people are asking, and directly, indirectly, everyone is saying the same thing, that there are lots of products in this space. So how does your product differentiate itself?
I mean, as I said initially, we have built in a very solid assessment tool. And at the same time, now we're going ahead, taking a step further and trying to build more and more features onto our platform to create, curriculum planning, to create more engagement in terms of gamification, to create more AI-based learning. So I don't think that's there, and I can say this. We are the top 10 in the world to get Jacobs Foundation Best Practice nomination, and I think that speaks volumes about our product.
Sure. Many people are asking about pricing and special offers and stuff like that. You can see the Q&A also in the chat. So if you want to talk about it, or you
Yeah,
can
so
speak.
we're gonna provide during the crisis period, we're gonna provide a special discount to everyone who's out there. And I would request you all to go ahead, click on the link, share the fact that you're interested, or maybe for the people out there on Facebook, they could simply comment as a yes or a plus, and then we would reach out and find the best possible you know deal for you that also solves your problems.
Sure. So I think I should inform all the audience that if you look at your chat button, there is a website given, uh, which is of the classtime.com website, and there is a specific link. So you may please click that link and put your details there, and the class time team would be getting back to you with the costing and the any special offers they have in this times of crisis. And someone has asked about the security issue, like how secure is your software?
Yeah, so
So,
we've built in various kinds of firewalls, and student security, in fact, is one of the reasons why few of the companies have actually selected us. So definitely, in terms of security, our platform is very much secure.
and so I think we have almost done with the questions, but if you can look at the chat and the questions if I have missed out anything, because there are around 72 questions. So
That's
I
it.
am for sure I would have missed something or the other. So if you want to talk about something which I haven't touched or asked, so you can mention this.
Yeah. I think the audience here is very supportive. The amount of questions they've asked is amazing, and I really love the fact. And there's even someone who's asked for a demo plan, and thank you for it. And I would suggest you all to show your interest by clicking on that link, sharing your details, and then our team could reach out personally and give you a demo, an entire, end-to-end how and what we can do as a team, and then we can move it forward. And overall, it's really overwhelming to see all of you joining in here. And this really speaks volumes of how much in terms of the education sector we're bringing change. And
Yes, it's really amazing that teachers, the school owners, school directors, they all are highly motivated and aware that they have to adopt um, new tools in the IT space. And any a specific question that someone asked from Assam, that can you work with Assamese school? Are you able to do that? To have the reach?
yes, yes. So we have been in 5 countries globally, and now we're entering India, and we plan to exceed it in all parts of India.
Sure. And Saiba, before we end, if you would like to briefly talk about the origins of this company and what is the vision, what is the mission, like, so that the audience is also aware about the big picture of the organization they are talking to.
Yeah. So we started in about 3 years back in Switzerland, in Europe, and slowly we have developed. In fact, last year only we started in USA, and the amount of great amount of feedback that we've received, we have been successfully growing year over year. And we recently we discussed and we thought that we also would require India to take an impactful stand in school education, and that's what we believe in. We believe we can give enough tools and techniques and solutions out there for schools to help and create more impactful lessons, try to go back, review the data, try to share assessments with them on a real-time basis, and generally try to understand, on a personalized level, what the teachers are looking for. And not just that, our vision is to help teachers, really get empowered. And how they will get empowered when they have the right kind of tools, when they have, when we reduce their basic operations on assessment and grading, and creating question sets that may be redundant that one teacher has already done, and genuinely taking out their time only and only in creating impactful lessons and creating impactful power packed education. And the great part about these kind of educational platforms is that you get in touch with a lot of people out there through public libraries, right? You get to know what kind of data or content they are trying out. So you might be more influenced by that, and you would like to try it out. So I think as a team, as Classtime, we genuinely believe that education, solutions, technology is actually an opportunity, is actually a tool, just a tool to empower teachers.
Sure. So, Saiba, with this, we will end this webinar. And before we end this, uh, we at Elets have been creating platforms like this in the print space, online space, to create and spread of ideas about innovations. So, you have any message for our team at Elets about our work, Saiba?
I think, Ravi, you guys are doing a great job bringing out all these solutions out there to the world, to India, exploring all these kind of different technologies that we can use that makes our life easier. I mean, it's just we've gone so far in introducing so many different things in terms of video lessons, in terms of creating animations, but I think we fail to do that. We fail to always not implement it in Indian education. And by bringing these kind of experiences, I think Elets is doing a great job. Um, you know, and this will definitely impact the Indian education scenario for sure.
Sure. And Saiba, I will highly recommend that you look at all the chats and the Q&A after this session is over, because people are still writing that, eager to uh, uh, see the demo, eager to use this product. And someone is saying that if you want some help, if you reach out in Assam, contact me, I will help you. So
Okay.
people are really interested and excited to.
I am really thrilled, and feel free to question. Feel free to email me on the link. I am very much easily available on emails, and please
Can
reach
you,
out.
Saiba, write your email ID here?
Yes.
So that people can actually contact you directly.
So feel free to reach out to me. It's sahiba@classtime.com, and whatever requirements you have, and or whatever questions I've not been able to answer, I will be more than glad to answer all your queries.
Sure. So thank you all the audience. You have been an amazing audience, and I'm like amazed to see the number of questions you all have asked in the Q&A and also in the chat. So many inputs and suggestions all have come, and I think Saiba, you have been a great presenter. I suppose that our audience has really liked your presentation. Thank you so much, Saiba. Thank you all the audience, and I will request all the audience that if you have liked this video, you liked what Saiba talked about, if you like this idea of digital classrooms, you may like to share this video on YouTube and Facebook. It is available on the Digital Learning and World Education Summit social media sites, on Facebook and LinkedIn, and also on Twitter. So, this will help spreading the ideas of digital innovation in schools spread much more widely, and it will help everyone. So, with this, ending this webinar, and thank you everyone.
Yeah,
Thank you, Shahid.
just before we could close, all the people out there on Facebook as well, please go ahead, click on the link, and then we can get in touch. And if you require any kind of assistance, let me know. And thanks for the great audience out there who's been very supportive, and the kind of questions you've asked is shows that you are very much interested in learning about technology.
Thank you. Great. And saying bye to everyone. Saiba, bye to
Bye
you,
bye.
and bye audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.